And I found that there were two Christianities, one for the masses and one that hardly anybody ever heard about. If you want to talk about a secret, that's a real secret. The secret was really buried by Constantine in Rome when they rallied around trying to save Rome and created a rallying point around the teachings, the outer teachings of Jesus. Now, those outer teachings is what was taught in the Christian church. The inner teachings of what he taught to his disciples, encoded in symbology, was not taught to the masses. And those particular things that were not taught to the masses are really the real secret of life and of the universe and of the power of the mind. First of all, this secret is not a secret. This secret has been taught in New Thought churches for decades and decades, probably for the last 100 years. There is no secret. That's baloney. All of those are basically based upon visualization, focusing, and so forth, which is primarily what this so-called secret is. In other words, they have borrowed this from what we call the New Thought field. And where did the New Thought field come from? It originated with a man called Parkus Quimby. Where did he get it from? He got it from Eastern metaphysics. Where did the metaphysicians get it from? They got it from the mystics. Where did the mystics get it from? From higher states of consciousness. The great minds had in common the great mind. Let me repeat this. The great minds that are listed in the so-called secret had one thing in common: the great mind, the mind of the universe and universal intelligence, which was being channeled through them, which was influencing their thinking. When we call and think about this idea of a secret, the secret is, I've made my notes here as far as what was presented. Keep the mind focused daily on what you want. Picture daily what you want. Keep positive thoughts, meaning energy. Keep positive feelings, meaning energy, because positive feelings are greater than thought energies. Concentrate on what you want rather than to be negative and say what you don't want, all right? Because you're an energy field, giving off energy into a total energy field. All right. I've been teaching this for 50 years. There's nothing in all of that that's wrong. Nothing in that that's wrong. Everything is right. So it's, in a sense, this secret has exposed people to, yes, this is how the mind operates. It's operating on the basic idea and concept of like attracts like. Now, if you don't understand that in terms of human beings, I've given an example over the years that goes something like this. Let's take love as an example. If you meet somebody, it's like a portion of your unconscious runs out of your body and meets a portion of the other person's unconscious that comes out of their body. They exchange conversation. Then they hop back into your body and they give you a green light or a red light. Now, let's suppose that you're neurotic as hell. So, like attracts like. So what do you have? You have a neurotic person attracting a neurotic person, which is the beginning of a beautiful neurotic relationship. And that is basically the principle. So, in love, yes, it has that particular principle. But let's suppose that you go beyond that. Jesus said, "Be as the lilies of the field, they spin and they toil not." What does that mean in human terms? It means that you can do your intellectual cylinders till you're blue in the face and not necessarily anything will happen. Also, he said, "Which of you by taking thought?" Notice the word thought, because that is the criteria here of what this whole idea is built up on the secret. Which of you, by taking thought, can add 1 cubit to their stature? What does that mean? You are what you already are, with all the bells and whistles already a part of your being. You are, as he described to the disciples, literally the universe made manifest. You are all that is a walking, living representation. So what does this mean? It means that if you want something, it shouldn't be put into your mind from the external world as to what you want, and then you appeal to the universe. That is the big mistake of this whole movement, because it is done by the blind leading the blind. A little knowledge is a misleading thing. Instead of having what we want put into our minds by our neighbors, our relatives, Madison Avenue, advertising, what we want should come from within us into our conscious mind. That is our true self, our higher self, our God self, our Christ self, our Buddha self, our Krishna self. Name it what you like. This is what should put that idea into the mind. Then, if you take this idea of imaging and focusing Your position then is keeping your conscious mental faculties in agreement with the divine urge to what your soul was created for in this lifetime. That, friends, is the real secret. Anything less than that is misguided, misleading, because it's saying, you tell the universe what you want. I guarantee that the intellect does not have a comprehension of what it needs. It just simply doesn't. But inside of each and every one of us, there is an all-knowing part of us that knows exactly what each and every one of us needs. Each of us is unique as our thumbprint. And yet the life force, the energy, the prana as they call it in the East, that tremendous energy is surging through each and every one of you, wishing to break out and make itself known in accomplishments in your life.